Bubbly, fun, adventurous, Isla is your typical toddler. But less than 6 months ago, Isla was locked in a battle for her life. An invasive bacteria more common than meningococcal had taken hold.
I took one look at her and I thought, we're going to lose her.
The first sign anything was wrong was a high temperature.
I put it down to teething or a 24, 48-hour bug.
She kept getting worse.
I knew something wasn't right.
Sarah followed her gut and took Isla to PMH emergency, where doctors found an infection in her femur. She went in for surgery.
Cleaned it out and hopefully she'll be better in the morning type thing was, I guess, my thought.
But Sarah was woken to be told her daughter was in ICU.
I took one look at her and she just looked like a different person. She was incredibly swollen. She had tubes coming out of every single part of her body.
The diagnosis, invasive strep A. Her parents had never heard of it.
Strep A is a bacteria that can invade the body through the throat or through the skin. It's a bacteria that can cause a nasty spectrum of diseases that can start with just sore throats, which is pretty simple, all the way through to flesh-eating diseases.
Around 1 in 10 kids have the bacteria in their throat at any time. It's only life-threatening when it enters the bloodstream, muscles or lungs. In fact, strep A is more common than meningococcal, but just as deadly and swift.
How could we have gone from having a few days earlier this beautiful, healthy little child? How can she suddenly have gone from being so close to death?
Even with the very best treatment, the bacteria caused her fingers, toes and heels to go black.
It looked like she could possibly lose more fingers and both of her feet.
Isla defied the odds, losing just the tips of a few fingers and toes. There's one to go.
They leave it for as long as possible until it effectively dries up and falls off.
It sounds horrific, but Isla is a little warrior.
She's amazing. She just takes it in her stride.
Now the Meagers want other parents to know what to watch out for.
They might be less responsive than they normally are. They might be pale, they'll have fevers, and they may have some vomiting and diarrhoea.
If you suspect strep A, Dr. Bowen recommends taking your child straight to a doctor. There's effective treatment, but no prevention yet.
We're working really hard towards finding a vaccine that could prevent this from occurring.
At the centre of that work, the Telethon Kids Institute. And today, part of Telethon's record 2017 total was pledged to the Institute at the beneficiary celebration, some of which will fund strep A research.
It's really important to continue in all of this research in order to make sure that we get to a strep A vaccine.
After extensive treatment, Isla's future looks good.
She does need a lot more medical support, but I think that she's doing really, really well.
It'll take more than a bout of life-threatening bacteria to hold this little fighter back.
She's incredible. She's a very resilient child and, yeah, amazing little girl.